Superintendent of Newton Public Schools, Dr. Anna Nolin, provides an update of what's happening in the schools and a kickoff to a new project, a profile of a Newton graduate.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our update this week sought to encapsulate the ongoing discussions in the district around recent events in Israel. I think our public comment showed you exactly the conversations that we're having with families of all types. And I just want to say, keep reaching out to share perspectives and ideas. We welcome an ongoing dialogue in our attempt to grow together and to be a peaceful community. It is timely information that the school committee approved here tonight the acceptance of a $50,000 hate crimes prevention grant, which seeks to strengthen our work in ending hate of all types, but does have a specific focus on some anti-Semitism programming that was designed as part of entry planning work this summer, and specifically works with some of our existing programs. The community will have capacity to understand what those programs look like, and we will publish information extensively about that. Speaking about teaching and learning, the entire curriculum leadership team is working under Dr. Renee McCall's leadership on the content for a parent curriculum website that was discussed at our last meeting. Very proud of the initial shell of the site that I saw at a recent meeting. We also continue to adapt the new literacy curriculum in grades 1 and 2 and some select staff in grades 3, 4, and 5. As with any new curriculum adoption, we'll work through materials and texts and try out new unit materials with students. Our instructional leadership literacy team, led by Assistant Superintendent McCall and Farag, are beginning coordinated walkthroughs with our literacy consultants who are working to help ensure a smooth implementation of the new curriculum. But walkthroughs with principals led by district leaders help to ensure both smooth implementation of the curriculum, but also alignment and calibration for better support of strong teaching and learning in the district. So I thank them for that. High school term 1 progress reports are 2 weeks in the rear window, meaning that we're nearing the end of term reporting. Elementary parent conferences open this week, and progress reports for middle schools are forthcoming. A highlight of the past week was our first ever mental health summit, held and sponsored by the Office of Student Services under Assistant Superintendent Casey No Miller. All mental health providers in Newton schools were invited, and over 100 staff members participated. The aim of this summit was to come together as a group, build community, and to hear from professionals in the field. In future summits, we hope that there will be additional professional workshops, interaction between staff, and topics driven by staff interest. We did hear from Dr. Gary Bailey, Director of Simmons University Community Engagement and Social Justice Center, and Michelle Muffet-Lipinski, Principal and Founder of the North Shore Recovery High School, whose work has been documented in the MTV documentary 16 and Recovering. It's a very powerful session. Digital Citizenship Week was last week, and we are one of those districts that is very fortunate to have a strong leadership in our Director of Technology, Steve Vertendi, who is the man behind the Zooms at these meetings. But he is also a former teacher who is also a technology person and helps to lead the instructional technology integration for the district. Digital Citizenship Week is a time where students focus more directly on integrating social media lessons and digital citizenship skills and media literacy. And if you're interested in seeing the realm of and range of possibilities these practitioners provide, we have provided a menu of services that this instructional component of our staff provides every day in all of our schools. Also, under the Director of Technology's leadership, we are experiencing a cybersecurity training for all staff. This is done during contract time. There have been a lot of stories nationally and in the state and region about school districts that are targeted by hackers who get own data that they get from districts and then hold it hostage. Cybersecurity incidents impact time, learning, and dollars. And so these trainings happen periodically throughout the year, 4 sessions for every staff person to teach them more safety. It also has wonderful implications for personal cyber safety. And then finally, just to share that the fall menu of professional learning offerings for Newton Public Schools staff has been listed. They're focused under focus areas for the district, which are guided by the district priorities and improvement plans. And they are available for educators to meet their relicensure requirement. They are free to Unit A and B educators who are seeking these professional development recertification points. And some courses have an option of graduate credit at an out-of-pocket expense, but that the district then reimburses staff per contract through human resources. The next menu of courses and course offerings will be out in January, and I'll tell you about them then. So our second agenda item tonight is just the formal kickoff of something I've been talking about since May of last year when we started to come together and knowing each other. And that is the launching of a profile or a portrait of a Newton graduate process. This was something that the school committee and the interim superintendent last year were discussing, and is something that most districts in the Commonwealth and even nationally are using as a sort of collective vision, a vision to galvanize around for a community's aspirations for their students. This process is designed to engage community stakeholders, both internal to the school system, students, and prioritize student voice, and community members outside of the school system, including business and religious leaders. This does not imply that there is no strong vision for the Newton Public Schools now. What it means is that we take a snapshot in time to re-energize ourselves and repoint ourselves for now, post-pandemic Newton, a time where all of us are looking for hope and vision and the next steps for our young people. So I'm really excited to get this started in the wintertime. We are talking about this tonight because we're looking for people to volunteer to participate on this exciting committee. There can be upwards of 300 individuals, both internal to the school, students, and external to the community involved in this process. The team members and timeline are detailed here. We're looking to put together the portrait or profile design team, and districts get to decide what they call it once the whole group is in it. But we're looking for people from all walks of Newton life, and that would be the next slide, Steve, which includes faith communities, business leaders, representatives from higher education, community members, social service agency partners, students, teachers, families, and of course, district and school leaders to join us in a process where we talk about this vision for the future of Newton. If you could advance the slide, Steve. Should you choose this adventure with us in 4 meetings in January in the evening, we will give you some good snacks, but we will give you something to nourish you and to nourish the community. The 4 sessions are session 1, we talk about how has the world changed and how does education need to adapt to it. Public education needs to adapt to an unknown future. And this is a session where we talk about all the potential future adaptations our students will need to make in their lifetime. And what does that mean for a school system? The second session talks about what the community thinks are essential skills and mindsets that are necessary in order to plan for the tomorrow of our Newton graduates. The third session is where, after a discussion and prioritizing and ranking of competencies developed by the design committee, we pull the larger community and ask them to also prioritize these competencies. And therein, we develop a shared vision for graduates of our city. That culminates into a portrait of a graduate, which is really just the beginning of the work of the city and the schools. Here are some samples of other districts' profile and portraits of a graduate, different competencies depending on the community of what they would like to highlight in terms of focal areas for study, for funding, for professional development, and for hiring. When I've gone through this process previously, it then led to a conversation about what do we want in terms of teachers in the district. So what would the profile of a Newton teacher look like? And what would the profile of a Newton parent or Newton community engagement look like? So this kicks off a real, hopefully an alignment of values, a coalescing of support around key student competency areas. And it will provide our district clarity and an intensity on topic areas, which will allow us to align training, hiring, budget, and the development of future strategic plans. So if you'd like to get involved in the materials this evening, there are community member interest forms, there's staff member interest forms, and a district webpage with all the profile portrait of a graduate information listed there. And you certainly can reach out to anyone in our office, and we're happy to talk to you about the process.